Welcome back to the healing focus. We went through on our last lesson about how focusing on our health has huge benefits to what we're doing in our lives, and we do get to choose what we call in. And learning how to focus on what's going right in our lives in all aspects, not just health. That's what we talked about in our last lesson. And we also did a recode on an aspect of our health. So we spoke about awareness, being aware of our thoughts and our feelings. And also there was a story about a man who was told he had 6 months to live. So he sold his house and his car and he bought a boat and he just traveled the world. And that's like 10 years later, he's still alive. You see, he didn't buy in to the diagnosis. He didn't buy into it. He made a choice to live in the moment. And what did he focus on? Having fun and living the life. That's what he did. So today we'll get started. So we now know that we can choose what we want to turn up in our lives, whether it be health, wealth, even happiness. The way we feel has a huge part to play with what is showing up in our lives. And the three different aspects which you are really aware about now because you've heard me talk for a while, the three aspects of our consciousness is our superconscious, which is all knowledge. We have our consciousness, and then we have our subconscious, and all create patterns. And we can also call them programs. And the unconscious mind parts are the feelings that are automated. And over a period of time, there is information which is downloaded in our subconscious, and it's replicated and duplicated over a period of time. And then we start believing that it's actually true. So some beliefs are great and are of value. Then there's others which are not so great. They're detrimental to our well-being. And that is also beliefs, patterns, and behaviors that don't really, are certainly not good for our desired reality. They're going to hold us back. And we also know that there's little filters over our lives, which means that we get messages from all over, from our family, our environment, our media, politicians, from Hollywood movies, television, the list goes on. And most information we don't even know. It just goes straight in without us realizing it. And as a child, we don't get a lot of choice. And, the child up until the age of 7, they have all their chakras open. Everything goes in. So once we're aware of our beliefs and our programs and our behaviors, and once we recognize them, we can then create our lives in the best way possible for us. And we choose what we want to create. And our unconscious will show us what's in the way, because the tension will pop up into our reality. And that's like the triggers we get. That's the resistance moving forward. It's in the difference of the feelings. So in regards to the vision that people want to create, I actually had someone that sent me a message and they said, I've never got anything I've written down, my goals. So even trying to design my vision, I don't believe it. I just wrote it down and I thought, okay, well, this is reasonable. I think I should be able to do this. This is reasonable. And I was like, okay, well, just by the act of us getting into choosing, look what's shown up, what's in the way. So it's the resistance, and we can work on that for a start. And then over time, we move forward and we're removing all the resistance as we go. So allowing us to take action, moving forward and towards what we're actually wanting. So just by realizing what's in the way, hey, I've never really had this before and I don't really believe in it and I'm just going to write it all out. I'm just going to do it anyway because you're telling me that that's what I need to do. Right in that point, it's realizing what they're actually saying, and that's great. It's like, okay, well, I've written down what's reasonable, but I'm still going for what I love. It's a huge step forward, because what's in the way will show up once you start playing in between the desired reality and the current reality. Once you start playing with those emotions, there's going to be tension and there's going to be resistance. So here's what happens, right? You have an issue, and instead of like sitting there looking at it, say like an ice cube melting on the table, you watch it and you think, is it going to melt to the left? Is it going to melt to the right? How long is it going to melt? Maybe the room's not hot enough. How come it's melting? And this is what we do with our own lives. We keep asking why. Why am I like this? Why did he do that to me? Why am I in this situation? You don't always need to know the why, right? You really, really don't need to know the why. It's all in what are you wanting in your life? What's the feeling of that desired reality? What are you choosing? What are you going to create? I'm going to create this and I'm going to create that and I'm just going to go for it. And guess what? The more you focus on it, it's going to show up for you. And you see, what we do is like shortcuts, because we live sometimes in this microwave society that we just think it just has to happen like now. Let's just get quickly done now. Tell me how to quickly manifest everything. I want all this money. It's what I want to do. I just want to do it now. So just show me, tell me. I'm looking for that secret formula, that magic, just tell me, right? And we also try and figure it out. And what we tend to do, especially, light workers, or you could say people searching for the meaning of life, we go back in our history and we try and figure out what happened. And then we relive it all, right? We relive it to something maybe a little bit better. Maybe I should have eaten something better. Maybe I should have said this. Maybe I should have said that. Maybe I should have behaved differently. Maybe I need to look at my karmic lives. Maybe I need to look at my Akashic records. Maybe I need to go to another therapist. That's okay. All of it's really interesting. Absolutely, it can guide us. Although if we stay there too long, then it will hold us there, and that will not allow us to be our creative beings. It will not allow us to actually move forward. So, we can always go back and say, hey, let's go back to my childhood and my birth and let's try and fix all of that. And yeah, you can spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars. And that was me. I did that too. Like, I was a seeker. I was a seeker for years, right? Until I realized that I had been seeking enough. And it was time for me to get into the new structure of being that creative force moving forward and being a creator of my own life. And that's when it clicked for me. And then everything happened very quickly. So how many of you listening to this just can see now the insanity of everything? Because you can actually find infinite reasons of the past. And you can find infinite more and then more and more. And it doesn't really help you so much to know. I'll try and figure it out. I'll just try and figure out. Let's just figure out that ice cube. Whatever way, whatever conditions. And let's spend hours trying to figure out this ice cube. Like, is it melting to the left? It's funny. The ice cube's really funny. Who cares about the ice cube, right? So it's about what we're actually focusing on. What are you actually wanting? How do you want to feel? How healthy do you want to be? How energized do you want to be? Because, you say to yourself, what am I creating? What am I choosing? What am I calling in? I'll give you a couple. I'm going to create more money. I'm going to create abundance. I'm going to create life-changing life events. Like, I'm choosing the life that I love. I'm going to create everything in my power. I'm moving forward. I know it's coming. And as I focus on it, I'm creating it. And then we find our desired reality, and we find our current reality, which is very easy because you're living in that current reality. And then we step into the superconscious, and then we recode. That's what we do. It's a fairly short process and has huge, huge results. And as you step into all the aspects as we go through the recodes, your memories and thoughts and subconscious habits and family patterns and DNA, that'll all sort of pop up in the superconscious because it's all knowledge, right? And then it's all there for you, all there in your field. And what we do is we basically then recode and we hand it over. It's similar to the gophers, and they have lots of holes everywhere because they live under the ground, and the dirt has to go somewhere, so it goes up. And so you're at one end of the football field and your goals and everything at their end, and then you've got these gopher things that are digging all these holes, and you're tripping over it, and that's your resistance. It's your resistance. So you can decide, go fix yourself, go be a seeker, go find something else that's going to fix you. Or you're going to think, okay, well, what's the resistance? What is my resistance? Because I've got over here in my right hand the desired reality, and in my left hand I've got the current reality. Okay, cool. And there's a difference in feeling. The difference in feeling is your resistance. So the current reality we are living in reinforces all the beliefs on a daily basis. So the more you are in your current reality, the more you're reinforcing all of the beliefs on a daily pattern, right? It's a daily pattern, programs and brainwashing and everything else, because you're here in the current reality and it's reinforcing. And I guess you can always find reasons why, You can find out reasons why you're in that current reality. You can go back and go, okay, well, the government rips me off, and the people ripped me off, and, he left me and she left me. And, you can always find reasons why bad things, happen for you. You can always find good things that happen to you as well. You can find, out why you're stressed out, why you're sick. The list goes on and on and on. And you can also find in your reality that the government looks after you, and then on the other hand, the government also is conspiring against you. And you can find out why people are trustworthy. You can find out why, life is beautiful. You can find out how and why. You can find out that you're intelligent, you're really smart, and you're worthy. You can find out all of those because there's so much out there, and you have the opportunity within your minds to create anything. And it's also true that some people have always been sick, and some analyze and they go over the reasons why, and then they tell people why they're sick, and it just keeps going on and on and on. Have you ever heard of people always saying to you, oh, I'm so tired. I'm just so tired. How are you? Oh, I'm tired. Oh, how are you going today? Oh, I had a really bad night. Or it could be, how are you? Oh, not very good. I've got a headache. I've got this headache. And I can go on and talk a lot about different ways people express themselves and stay solid in their current reality. But here's the thing. I can confirm that we live in the most prosperous time in history. I can also confirm that we live in the most dangerous time in history. So you choose to create a healthy body. You choose it. You step into it. It's like planting that seed of health. And if it's a tree seed, don't expect it to be a forest overnight, right? There is always a lag time between the current and the desired and you moving into that new identity. There has to be a change. And when you plant that seed, it's going to take a little while. And if it's a tree seed, unless it's like Jack and the Beanstalk, how, Jack went and he thought he was swindled, out of his goods, and he got these bean seeds, and he came home and his mother was really upset and threw the beans outside, and how dare you spend the money, and we have no food. And of course, the next morning, all of a sudden the beanstalk happens, and they Jack climbs up the beanstalk and then finds gold and a big giant. So, Jack was probably in his desired reality in that moment. But most of us, we don't have these seeds that happen all of a sudden, right? It's a whole process that you will notice within yourself and others. And that's part of how this is. And we all want really a good life. We want a life of ease and flow. We want a happy life. We don't want to be stressed out. We don't want to be worried about money. We don't want to be worried about our health, how we're going to live next month, next year, what we're going to do in our retirement, how we can live every day. Most people don't want that. So it's about noticing what you actually want yourself, the good life, that happy life, that stress-free. What are you calling in? So right now, if you've got a pen and paper, it would be great. Or even maybe just think about it. What would you love to focus on? 5 different things. And it could be your health, because we're talking about health right now. It could be money. It could be whatever you like. But for now, we can say, okay, find 5 great things about your health right now. Yeah, just think about it. What is okay with your health right now? What is good? So it could be like a healthy mind. It could be healthy nails. It could be healthy joints. It could be good eyesight. Whatever it is, have a think about 5 things that are going okay and really well with your health right now. And you'll notice, right, once you scan your body, you go, yeah, I've got really good hands. My hands can do this and they can do that, and my feet are good. Like, whatever it is, right? And you'll notice that it's easier to find what's actually happening when you focus on it. It's all about you focusing. And you can also find things that you're unhealthy with currently. True? So the point is whatever you focus on grows. And you'll notice that some people are just obsessively focused on what's not right. And it's their problem orientation, right? It's a true problem orientation in the current reality. And I know someone that's constantly sick. And when I ask him about his health, it's like, if it's not his ankle, it's his arm. If it's not his arm, it's something else. It's like the first 5 minutes all about his health and what's going on. And on the other side, he drinks around 18 beers a night, right? So no wonder his body is failing, because he's drinking so much acid. So where is his focus? Is it on sickness or on health? It's quite clearly on his unhealthiness, his sickness. That's where he's focusing on. So guess what? If that's in his current reality, he's going to create more and more and more and more of that, right? And we have like 3 million people that have died of the so-called COVID worldwide. But then there's 10 million that have died of cancer every year. So where's everyone's focus right now? And our whole society is teaching us to be unwell, right? So can you see how we are conditioned, we're programmed, we're obsessively obsessive about what's not right? And it's crazy, because in the media, they're always pushing sickness, fear, always sickness. And it can be really challenging to be in your desired reality and break away from that. We can spend a whole lifetime trying to figure out what's wrong with us. And most people spend far too long in their current reality, what's wrong, and it slows them down getting into their desired reality. And I feel like that's a big waste of my time to be in those thoughts and those feelings. And I also feel like it's a big waste of your time too. Who agrees? So I believe the creative structure is more important than, hey, Superconscious, can you treat this? I think it's way more important to work out where you want to go, what you want to be, creating 90% of the time, and just being there. So, and to get there, it's not that difficult. Right now, I'd like you to close your eyes, just for obviously, if you're driving, that's probably not a good thing, or operating, mechanical machines. Don't do that. I know that's on lots of packets. So you close your eyes right now. Just close your eyes. Just close your eyes if you can, and just be in your creative structure. Just call in something that you would really like in your life, whatever that might be. Preferably, good health, preferably maybe abundance of money, preferably maybe just walking on the beach. Just be there, close your eyes and just walk through your imagination. Just be there like you've just been teleported into your desired reality, and just feel what it's like just to be there, to have it, just to be there in your desired reality. Just have it. There's nothing more you need to do. You've already achieved it. Maybe you feel happy, maybe you're smiling, maybe you feel, wow, I'm so proud of myself, I feel so confident. These are all the feelings that we create when we're creating, in the creating structure of our desired reality. Yeah. So you can open your eyes now, but that was probably maybe a minute, maybe 2 minutes. And if you did that a lot, right, that would probably help you to keep working in the new structure, which is your desired reality. And if someone said to me, what's the most important thing to work on? And I would say the creative structure. Every single day of the week, every day. I would not take a quick superconscious recode all day long, and I wouldn't even take meditation. I would take the understanding of the creative structure for sure, because without that, nothing else can stand, because that's the foundation of everything. And without being in a creative structure, understanding that, you're not in a good place. You're always going to be in that current reality and in the past, and in worry and fear and sickness. It certainly won't be in health and wellness and happiness and joy. So today, as many times as you're aware, just step into your desired reality. It could even be for like 60 seconds, and just feel what it's like to actually be there. And of course, absolutely, if you feel you've been triggered or there's resistance, then of course, let's do a recode. So I hope that's helped. I hope that that's given you some value, and blessings to you, and stay in your desired reality. Bye for now.